and Nancy, you can continue.
Okay, so I want to, good morning, everyone. Well, there's always technical difficulties, but that's great. We were able to get this working. I hope everyone is doing well this morning or evening for some people. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone to please turn off your mics for the duration of the session. I'm Nancy Chibry, and I'm your Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs and Student Affairs for the Faculty of Science. And today I will be your MC for our online webinar. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Blackfoot and the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta. The city of Calgary is home to Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. Today is the beginning of a new chapter in your lives, and we are so pleased you have chosen the Faculty of Science as the next step in your life. We understand that many of you probably have questions around whether classes will resume on campus in the fall, and unfortunately, we don't have answers to those questions just yet. Please know that we will relay this information to all our students once we have confirmed details. We appreciate your patience during this trying time, and please know that we are here to support you. If you're having any issues staying connected or accessing the chat, try using Safari if you're on a Mac or Chrome if you're on a PC. Or if you're like me, you may have to reload the system again. So if you are submitting a question in our chat today, please mark your questions with a Q so our moderators can easily identify your questions. And when asking a question, you will notice a circle will show up beside your comment. Please click the circle to show the red Q. Welcome to Science. We have some fantastic presenters here with us today, and they put together some key pieces of information that will be valuable to you as a new science student. We also have someone here with a special message for you. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our first speaker of the day, Leslie Rigg, your Dean of Science.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I guess morning, evening, afternoon, it depends on where you are in the world. As Nancy mentioned, I'm Leslie Rigg, and I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Science. I want to extend a warm virtual welcome to all of our Faculty of Science students, along with friends and family. These are the scientists of tomorrow. You are, that's what you will be. Our faculty is built on core values. Those values are impact, curiosity, inclusivity, collaboration, and wellness. But to us, these aren't just words. They guide our teaching, they guide our advising, and the way that we connect with you, our students. You are studying here at the University of Calgary, and that means that you have countless opportunities to get your hands wet and your feet dirty. And whether that's in a lab or in a stream, as I did when I was an undergrad, or climbing up a mountain or in a virtual setting like we are here today, the whole world is your living laboratory. In fact, this event is sort of the first getting your feet wet in the virtual world. As we know, the current situation requires us to be innovative and creative in our approach to meeting you. Today it's online, but eventually it will be face-to-face on our amazing campus. As part of science, in many cases, you'll be working side by side with world-class researchers who have won national and international awards for their contributions to science and the impact that that science has had on our communities. We take pride in our ability to transfer knowledge and to contribute to the growth through our research, through our innovation, and equally as important, our entrepreneurial thinking. We are a community of scientists fueled by curiosity, creativity, and innovation. And as natural problem solvers, we see our city, province, our country, and planet, and the challenges that they face. And because we are scientists, our instinct is to investigate the ways in which we can help solve those challenges. The current pandemic is a timely example of how researchers in the Faculty of Science secured funding to work on a chemical compound to target the coronavirus and the chemical compounds that could help creating a new and more effective drug therapy. As you'll learn, many of our programs feature field schools and research projects, so you can get a taste of what it's like to be in a specific discipline. Our research opportunities let you spend time on topics and questions that interest you, and if you have a passion, we will help you explore it. We care about you, and we're committed to supporting you both in and out of the classroom. And outside of the classroom, those experiences are just as important as your classroom ones. We want to ignite your inner spark and transform students like you into the scientific community that leads the future. Leaders like third-year biological student Amanda Long, who organized a charitable book drive in response to a shelter's request and appeal for children's books and toys. But because of the COVID situation, the way in which she went about doing it was extraordinary, and it took a lot of creative solutions around social distancing, non-contact pickups, and proper sanitizing, all of the things that we've become familiar with. And we are so proud of Amanda and the Student Club Operation Imagination for their leadership in finding a way to help those in our community when the call went out. As you begin your journey as a science student, don't forget one of the most important things is to have fun. When you're here, if you're having fun, your productivity will be better. You will have a greater level of satisfaction with what you're doing. You will build relationships, you will create networks, and overall, your experience will be one that is fulfilling and will lead to a career that is something that you're passionate about. Before I turn the session back to Nancy, though, we have a little video that we want to show you. And if I could, I want to leave you with a little bit of homework over the summer. And that is to think of a challenge or a problem that you see in your community, something that drives you, something that creates passion inside of you, and think about what it is that you'll do here at the University of Calgary that you will be able to take back to your community to solve that challenge. So thank you for the opportunity this morning to welcome you to the Faculty of Science. And you are going to see some of the amazing and wonderful things that go on in our faculty. And we are so happy to have you as part of our community. So please enjoy the rest of the presentations and have a great day, weekend, week, and get outside if you can. And we look forward to seeing you at some point soon. In the Faculty of Science, we say curiosity sparks discovery. And I say discovery sparks innovation. And innovation, we know, is what changes the world.
You don't want to ask somebody anymore, what do you want to do when you grow up? You want to ask them what problem they're going to solve.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm going to ask the people in the audience, if you can hear me, if it's coming through, can you just put a quick yes? Because I know some students were having some issues with the audio. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, great. Okay, so thank you again, Leslie. That was fantastic. And I'm sure that many of our students are already thinking about what problems they want to solve in the world. I know I'm looking forward to seeing the amazing things that will be accomplished and what you will do to impact the world. Our next guest, our next presenter, I should say, as well, is currently in their fourth year of a combined biological sciences and psychology degree. Please welcome Jasnoor Rajala.
Thank you, Dr. Chibi, for the introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. My name is Jasnoor Rajala, and as mentioned, I just finished my fourth year of a combined degree in biological science and psychology. I can't believe that just a few years ago, I was where all of you were, selecting my first classes and trying to figure out what all those weird number combinations and letter combinations meant on my schedule builder. I felt overwhelmed just thinking about my courses. I honestly never thought I'd be so involved on campus because to me at the start, university was just going to classes, finishing the homework, handing in some tests, and that's about it. Now I've almost completed both of my degrees. I'm a science ambassador, peer helper, orientation leader, and mentorship leader. So don't worry, asking questions and being confused is just a part of the process. All of you have the potential to make the most of your university experience. And hopefully throughout my presentation, you'll pick up on some key supports or opportunities that'll make your university experience a little bit less stressful and more enjoyable. So first off, the Science Mentorship Program. I would say this was my biggest support throughout my first year of university, because the program matches you with a student mentor who's been at the university for a couple of years, and they'll help you navigate the ins and outs of university, give you study tips, and help you become an active member of the science community. I honestly joined the program during my first year because I was terrified to ask questions to my professor. I thought, in a room full of 300 people, why would the professor want to answer my question? Or how do I talk to someone that I've never really had a conversation with before and ask them this really complicated or specific question? So as soon as I was matched with the science mentor, my university experience really changed because they provided me with that guidance, letting me know how to send a respectful email and giving me that confidence to approach my professors and the support staff on campus with confidence. My mentor also showed me how easy it was to book appointments online and really let me become comfortable at the university. Also, having a mentor provided me with the comfort of knowing I had someone to go to with any of my student concerns, because sometimes you might think you have this really small question and it's maybe not worth emailing somebody because you think it's insignificant, but to you it's really important. So you can always shoot your mentor a message. And I had the privilege of having my mentor take a lot of the same classes that I did, so they could really relate to my struggles. It's important to note, though, having a mentor in the mentorship program is not a fix-all to all of your problems, because they can't answer everything as they're just a student like you, but they can sure point you in the right direction. And earlier I was talking about how I never thought I'd be so involved on campus because my initial perception of university. And it was actually the science mentorship program that really opened my eyes, because it provided me with the opportunity to network with a lot of other science students. And I ended up learning what a lot of the opportunities I'm involved with today. For example, during our annual kickoff breakfast, I had a conversation with one of my mentor's friends, and I was made aware of a brand new opportunity at the Children's Hospital right by the university. My mentor helped me craft an application really quickly, which included a curriculum vitae, which is kind of like an academic resume, a statement of intent, and an unofficial transcript. Without the help of my mentor, I wouldn't have been able to create and submit an application in such a short period of time. Now, 4 years later, I still volunteer at that position, and I help conduct interviews with children assessing their cognitive skills. So just by being part of the program, you get access to really helpful and fun events like workshops and social events. The workshops help develop your professional and academic skills, so learning how to present yourself formally and how to have meaningful interactions and connections at networking events, and also fun events like skating with the dean, where you get to make really important connections and build your social network. So honestly, in my opinion, there's no better way to get involved on campus as a science student than the Science Mentorship Program, because you get to attend these fun events and you never know, a single conversation could end up inspiring a lifelong passion for you. So there really is no reason not to join the Science Mentorship Program. It's free to join, and it's completely funded from our alumni and members of the community. Last year, we had nearly 450 students participating in the program, so I really encourage everyone to sign up. And while we're on the topic, let's take a quick poll. How many of you are interested in joining the Science Mentorship Program? You should see a poll come up on your screen now. And I'll just give everyone a minute to respond here. Awesome. It looks like over 90% of us are planning on joining the Science Mentorship Program. And hopefully for that 7% who aren't sure yet or on the fence, by the end of this presentation, or by the time you end up joining the university in the fall, you'll change your mind. And if not, that's okay too. So because I really hope everyone takes advantage of this opportunity. And I've shared the link on my slide if you'd like to check out the program and apply to it. It's right underneath the pictures there, science.ucalgary.ca/mentorship. Yeah. So now moving on, let's talk about creating your community. I know a lot of first years are worried about making friends and finding connections on campus because some of us might be coming from other places in the world and not having that background of maybe going to high school in Calgary or having an existing friend group. And I want everyone to know that university really is what you make of it. You're here for 4 or 5 years, so why not experience as much as you can? There are actually so many ways to get involved on campus, make friends, learn new skills, and help you in your career after university. Here are some examples. So there's the Science Student Advisory Council, where you get the opportunity to provide feedback and suggestions to our faculty leadership, which is an awesome experience. You literally get to talk to the people making the decisions in the faculty and let them know what your student concerns are. Also, if you're especially passionate about representing your peers in science, running for a students' union representative position might be your calling. Our faculty representatives are elected by the student body, and they help express the wants and needs of the science students at student union meetings. They help create real change in the university by making projects like the Science Collaborative Space and extra study spaces around the science areas of the university. They were integral in making these projects come to fruition. You can also sign up for the Science Squad, which is like the Faculty of Science volunteering team, and get the chance to help out with a variety of volunteer events. One of my favorite events with the Science Squad was Pi Day in honor of the mathematical value pi. Ambassadors and members of the Science Squad helped hand out pies to students after they added a sticky note digit to the growing value of pi. See what we did there? We handed out pie on Pi Day. Anyways, I love puns. Back on topic. You can also become a peer helper and assist one of our awesome groups on campus, like the Women's Resource Center, the University Library, NUTV, the Wellness Center, and so much more. Personally, I participated in the Sophomore Leadership Program, which focuses on the development and leadership skills of senior students. I also volunteer at the Wellness Center, which is like our university clinic. And I check in on patients, take their blood pressure, weigh, and clean the examination rooms. So the programs are very accessible and provide an amazing opportunity to create connections on campus while exploring your passions. And speaking of passions, you should join a campus club. There's over 300 of them. It doesn't matter what you're interested in. There definitely is a club for you. And if there's the slim chance that there's a club that's not calling your name, you can always make your own. Clubs Week happens during the second week of classes, and you can find a group of people who love what you love. Just to list a few, there's things like Slime Club, League of Legends Club, and most importantly, the club that I'm a part of, Positive Change. That's positive spelled with PAW, because like paw, like animal paw. We raise money for sheltered animals. And I didn't start off as the president of Positive Change. I actually joined as a general member in my first year just because I love dogs. And I ended up working my way up, and now I'm the president. And I've honestly learned so much about event planning, leadership, and finances. So it's been a great experience. And beyond clubs, the university itself offers a lot of volunteering and research and other immersive experiences that you can sign up for. And these include like volunteering at the food bank, the Q Center, UCalgary Cares, Students for Literacy. And some of my favorite memories were in the summer where I participated in this program called Dr. Seuss in the Park. We set up a tent in one of the local parks, and we had parents come by with their children, and we did crafts and read books to them. So we helped promote literacy in the community. I've listed a lot of opportunities today, and I hope everyone heard something that piqued their interest. There will be endless ways for you to make the most of your university experience, and I hope everyone takes advantage of that. And lastly, the Ideas Fund. This is an awesome opportunity that I want everyone to keep in mind as they make their way through university. You might not necessarily make use of it in your first year, but you sure can. And the Activity Fund was created from donations from our community, faculty, and alumni. And pretty much how it works is you can apply for a maximum of $2,500 over the course of your degree. And you can apply for this money to really enhance your degree in any way you want. So that can be, maybe you want to present the research you've been working on in the summer at a conference. You can apply for the funds in order to pay for the expenses to travel somewhere. Or if you have an international internship and need funds to get there, you can also use the Ideas Fund to make that happen. Those are just two of the ways that you can use the Ideas Fund. If in general, if you have any idea or something you want to make happen, you can submit an application to the Ideas Fund and possibly get funding to make your dreams come true, I guess. So there really are so many ways you can get involved at the University of Calgary, and because we really want you to have the best experience possible. University is so much more than classes and homework, and many of the best experiences I've had were out of the classroom. They've been with the friends I've made, the volunteering I've done, and the programs I've been involved with. So I encourage everyone to get involved in all that the University of Calgary and the Faculty of Science has to offer. So now let's get into some of your questions. So the moderators have sent me some of your questions, and let's go over a few of them. There's over 200 people in the room right now, so it's going to be difficult to answer everyone's questions, but I'll do as many as I can. So first off, a really common question that we get is, what is it like going from high school to university? So it's difficult speaking to everyone's personal experiences because high school across the world is so different. Even high school across the city is so different. But I would say that in my experience, in high school, a lot of the time, we might not have to put our 100% into everything, but in university, you definitely have to put your 100% into everything. And that's sometimes a big change for students because you really do have to put in the work to do well. And that's not a scary thing. It just makes sense. You're here because you're really interested in a specific topic, and having to study or get the work done and ask questions when you're struggling is really all part of the process. And if you put in the work, there's no reason that you really can't succeed. And if you're struggling in particular, the university has so many awesome supports in place where you can get help with like writing, you can get help with math in particular. Maybe the semester didn't go well because there are some other circumstances. The university has great resources to really get you back on your feet. So I would say it's a very unique experience for every student, but as long as you're here and you're ready to put in the work, university really isn't that bad. And another great question. Is it easy to make friends in university? I would say that initially it was honestly scary putting myself out there because I was still trying to figure out how to read the syllabus and trying to figure out where all my classes were and trying to figure out the buildings. But it was like joining programs like the Science Mentorship Program that really helped me create connections on campus, because you can sign up for particular like social events and you're there to make friends pretty much. So I would really advise everyone to keep checking their emails and to sign up for programs and clubs. And yeah, really put yourself in these social situations. And when you sign up for events that interest you, other people will show up with those same interests. So it's just natural that you'll make friends with them. Another question is, if I join the mentorship program, will my mentor be in my major? So we try our best to match our mentees and mentors depending on their degree, but sometimes this isn't always possible just because we might have too many, not too many, but a lot of mentees from a particular faculty and not a lot of mentors from that faculty. But we'll try our best to have overlapping interests and overlapping courses that the mentee and mentor have taken. And another one, how do I volunteer on campus? Great question. I did list a lot of things and you're probably like, how do I access all this stuff? I would say that definitely keep looking at your emails, because at the start of the year, a lot of on-campus organizations and programs like the Students' Union and stuff will email first years. And it really is just subscribing to the mailing list when they send out those emails. yeah, so I would say that really check out your email. There are so many opportunities in there. I know sometimes your email gets crowded and you don't necessarily pay attention to everything, but it's definitely worth your time to pay attention to all of your email notifications. And additionally, you should check out the Students Union's website because they have a lot of opportunities on there. And I will do one last question, and that's, what's your number one piece of advice for an incoming first-year student? I would definitely say that my number one advice for incoming first-year student would be to just realize that you are in a completely unique circumstance from everyone else in your lecture room or everyone else in the university. So there really is no need to compare yourself to any other student, because there's people from different backgrounds, different academic history, different life experiences. So you really need to look at yourself as an individual and understand your strengths and weaknesses, and not realize your worth by comparing yourself to someone else, but realizing your worth by understanding your potential. And yeah, so that's all the questions we have time for today, but thank you everyone who submitted one. I hope everyone learned about an activity or program that they want to get involved with today. And Dr. Chibri, I'll pass it back to you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jasnoor. That was fantastic. You've highlighted some really great programs available to our students, and I hope that each of you take advantage of these opportunities during your time as a student here. I'd like to introduce our next presenter, and she's a member of our advising team at our Undergraduate Science Center. Please welcome Katelyn Karpetz.
Hi, everyone. Okay, I just have to say, Jasnoor did an incredible job. Go him. That was amazing. I really hope you absorbed something he said, because it was really lovely. So my name is Katelyn. I am one of the 6 science program advisors in your faculty. And I was so excited when I learned I would get to chat with you. So one of my past jobs was actually going to high schools and talking to students before they started university. And I remember that there were some questions, or there was some information that just no one was giving you. And so at least in today's presentation, I'm going to try to answer something that you might not already know about. So let's see if we can make that happen. Okay, so in high school or secondary school, depending on where you are, you probably had a central place that you went to get a lot of your information. For some of you, that would be your high school counselor. For some of you, that might be your principal or your favorite teacher. The thing is, your school would have been a lot smaller than the University of Calgary. So at the University of Calgary, we have so many students and so many supports that there can't be a central place to go get all of your information. You can see on my slide here, I've put a bunch. That's probably a third of how many there are. So that actually means, and sorry, if we think about all these places, everything on here is in a different, well, maybe not a different building, but it's somewhere on campus. So it means that if you need support, you're going to end up actually walking around campus to different offices versus going to one place to get all of your responses. That can be a little confusing for students, for sure. So for instance, you ask yourself, okay, well, where do I go because I want to take a course at another university? This happens. I mean, I took courses at U of T in my summers while I was a student because I wanted to. And I had no idea how to do that. So do you go to enrollment services? They support registration. You give your tuition to enrollment services. Do you go to the science departments? They are experts in your classes. So like, would you go there, or like, do you come to program advising? You might not know. In this case, if you want to take a course at another school, come and talk to program advising, just a heads up. But it can be a little confusing. So what I want to tell you is that whenever you don't know where to go, I want you to first Google it. Just give it a try. You might find the answer. And if you don't, that's super normal. But then if you can't find it yourself and your friend, don't always listen to friends. If you can't find it yourself, come and talk to us. So program advisors, we can tell you where to go on campus for basically everything you need if you can't figure it out. Here's the thing though, what is program advising? I don't even know if any of you have heard of program advising. So what I want to do is tell you what program advising is and how it's going to help you on campus. Give you a second to read. So this quote came from another Canadian institution. There are lots of definitions of what program advising is, but you can think of us as the link between you and something else, and understanding of some sort. But really, what does that even mean? So here's what we talk about on a daily basis. Okay, so you can see that the biggest thing we do is talk to you about your degree program. I'm going to use a metaphor to explain this. Okay, your degree has 40 courses in it. If you're doing 2 degrees, there are 50 probably, but 40 for the most part. And of those 40 courses, think of that like a puzzle that you're building. So you've got 40 pieces to build this puzzle. You come in as a student and you really don't know what that puzzle's supposed to look like. Like you feel like you don't know. Somebody's telling you to build a puzzle, but you have no idea what it's supposed to look like. We know what the puzzle looks like. We know what the puzzle looks like in detail. And we are there to teach you what it looks like so that you can build it as easily as you can. We will also tell you which pieces to put down first. That's really where the first year degree guide comes into play. But we'll tell you how to build your puzzle if you need us to, or which piece to put down that connects to another piece. I'm going to stop using this metaphor, but I think you understand that we know your degree program. We are also going to explain a lot of things that you don't understand. Today, I'm trying to explain what program advising is because you might not know what it is. We'll obviously talk a lot about registration because that's how you build your puzzle. And when we don't know, if we can't help you with something, we're going to direct you to someone else on campus. We definitely talk about internship and we talk about international exchange. The minute that you're back on campus with us, can't wait for that, we're going to be encouraging you to go somewhere else and experience something abroad. If you're from abroad, awesome. Okay, so what can't we do? We are experts in your program, but what don't we know? So many things. I don't know so many things. If you ask me how to transfer into engineering, I'm not going to know. Engineering knows. If you ask me what classes do I need to take at the University of Calgary to get into pharmacy at University of Toronto, can't remember if they have pharmacy right now, I will look at you with glazed eyes. I just don't know. I can help you think about how to get that information though, and I'm happy to do that. But we are your central support, but just know we're not all knowing beings, sadly. Okay, so when do you come talk to us? Well, some people have actually already talked to us. People will come and talk to us before they're even in the Faculty of Science, and we'll help them. Or you might come and talk to one of us if you want to change your program somehow. So let's say you want to change it by adding a minor or adding another degree in science, something like that. But that's about science. I've seen some questions in the chat. If you are wanting to transfer to another department, go see them and they will be able to answer those questions. So we can help students change into science. We help with course registration. We're going to do that in a few ways. We have so many students we support that some of the resources we provide might be digital because we want you to have access to them quickly. But we have a course sequencing guide for you, and we can talk to you in person by phone. We can support you with your registration. For first years, your course registration guide is really good, but we tend to support second, third, and fourth years the most when they need a bit more support. you might come to us when things aren't going well. I really, really hope this doesn't happen, but somebody in this group, because life happens, might start failing a course, and that doesn't feel good. I want you to know that if that happens, come and talk to program advising, because we'll help you navigate what you do in that situation, because there are a lot of implications to failing a course. If we're gonna give you, actually, sorry, my brain's telling me what to tell you to do, but what I want you to know is if something doesn't feel right, come and chat with us and we will try to help you sort it out. You'll come and chat with us when you're ready to learn about internship. So the entire science faculty has a science internship program for every single one of our programs, almost every one. We're all trying to have it. And you can't actually start internship until after your second year. So for your first year or so, you can gather information on the internship program, learn how the admissions process works. But for now, it doesn't have to be the focus. Now, as you approach graduation, you're probably going to want to know what you have left. Sometimes you've built like 3/4 of your puzzle and you go, I don't know what the last quarter looks like. I can't. So we can tell you. So you might come and ask us how many courses you have left, what type of courses you have left, things like that. Okay, so this is why you come see us. Okay, who are we? Who are we specifically? Here we are. This is my team. I work in the Undergraduate Science Center. They're not my team, they're my colleagues. And they are incredible, incredible women. We've got Elise and Anna Marie actually supporting in the chat right now. Ellie is our team lead. Sarah and Alicia are just so nice. We're really good people, I think. And what I wanted to, two things I need you to know. One, we don't look like this in real life. So don't expect that. Two, it's important that you as a student find people on campus that resonate with you, that you understand. So if I explain something to you in a way that you don't understand, I want you to talk to one of my colleagues because they may help you understand it better than I did. So that's why we're all very diverse in terms of how we actually advise students. So if you come and see one of us and we're not the right fit, that's all right. I encourage you to come back and find other advisors on the team that are the right fit so that you're getting the help you may need. All right, so how are we doing our advising? Some of you may already know this. During the COVID-19 experience, we are advising by phone primarily. So you join something, I'll tell you that in a second. We just have a phone call and try to answer your questions. Now, once we are back on campus, which I can't wait for, all of our advising will actually be done in person. It'll be done face-to-face. In fact, phone advising will occur, but it'll occur far rarer than face-to-face. So you'll actually come into the office to talk to us. So how do you connect? You get the QList app. The QList app, download it. There's information on our website about this, and yeah, get in line. And if you try to get in line and it's too busy, I think that'll probably happen on Tuesday or Wednesday this coming week, by the way. It's okay. It just means the line is full and we don't have the capacity to take more students. Just try again later. All right, so instead of doing a question and answer period, we are going to do a top 10 list. All right. I know you have registration on the brain. So here is our top 10 list for registration, things that I think you need to know. I just want to make my little head smaller. Don't know how to do it. Yay, thank you, Ashley. So, 1, initialize your registration. every year before you register, and I mean every year that you are at the University of Calgary, you will need to do something called initializing your registration. Basically, what you have to do is confirm your emergency contact before you can register. It's just a method to make sure your emergency contact is kept up to date. So if you haven't initialized your registration, when you go to register day one, it'll go initialize. So if that happens, it's normal, but just be aware that it's coming. 2, it is not mandatory to take 5 classes a semester. It's not. You now know your degree is 40 courses. You can take 10 courses a year without doing 5 courses per term. You could do 4 in fall, 4 in winter, 2 in spring. It is not mandatory that you do 5. However, when you're deciding how many you're going to do, prioritize the science classes. I think that makes sense. That'll make sure that you have your prerequisites for the next year. Okay, classes are reserved. So to make sure that in your degree you get the classes you need, the classes in your degree will be reserved for you for a period of time. So it's good for you to know that your courses aren't reserved for you forever, so that you get them before the reservation ends, because a reservation always does end. So if you're looking at a class and you're wondering, like, what is the reservation? Go look down in Schedule Builder. It's in small gray writing. It'll show you when that reservation is over. So especially for your options classes this year, you won't be part of the reservation cap because you're not in that major. So you'll have to check out when that reservation ends if you want that type of class. Looking at you, Psych 200. So just be aware of it. So going off of that, it's really normal to wait to get into classes. So if you can't get into your class, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, that's normal. I don't want you to freak out. It'll be okay. Lots of people end up waiting to get into classes because of those reservations. Now, that reservation may end and that class may be full. Also normal. You may not get into every class you want. This year, registration has been set up for you to get into your core classes. So the hope is everybody gets into the classes they need to get into to keep going. But for your options, you may not get into everything you want. That's okay. So because I'm recommending you know that reservation date and wait to register in that class, what I want you to do is register in almost a class placeholder. So register for a class in the exact same time spot as the one you really want. Then, and pick one you like. Then when it comes to that reservation end date, if you get there and the course is full, you still have a class. But if you get there and there's a seat available, you'll do a function called swap, and you'll swap into the class you want. So yeah. Okay. The biggest question that I personally have gotten over the past month from first years is what options are. So I'm going to change this up and we're going to talk about options. All right. So I'm going to use computer science as the example here. So of your 40 courses, some of them are predetermined and they are part of your major field. So for a computer science student, their major field is computer science courses, software engineering courses, and a couple upper level math courses. So I think of that as being the courses closest to the student. So that's number 1 on my slide. Then outside of the major field will be courses in the Faculty of Science that are not in your major field. Outside of that will be courses at the university that are not in the Faculty of Science that you can take, which is anything else at the university that you have the prerequisite for. Then outside of that are courses not in the Faculty of Science that you cannot take. So For instance, you can only take nursing classes if you're in nursing. You can only take most engineering classes if you're in engineering. You can't take most social work classes. You can't take most ed classes, education classes. Just you'll know when you hit them because their prerequisite will say, be admitted to blank program to take this class. So you'll know by reading the prerequisite. Okay, so what does that mean for options? We've got a couple different types of options. We have open options. We have options that must be from the Faculty of Arts. We have breadth options, non-science options. Then we have options that are not in the major field. So let's start with arts. Each science student must take 2 courses from the Faculty of Arts. To figure out what courses are from the Faculty of Arts, I want you to Google something specific. Google UCalgary courses of instruction by faculty. UCalgary courses of instruction by faculty. You'll be able to see every single course that we offer under each of their faculties. That'll show you which courses are under the Faculty of Arts, which ones you can choose for that requirement. Then we have courses that are not in your major field. So we know that 1 on my slide is major field. So that means 2 and 3 are courses that are not in the major field. So anything in science, anything outside of science that isn't in your major field. Then we have completely open options. Well, that's 1, 2, or 3. Literally anything you want that you can take is an open option. And then lastly, we have, I've completely forgotten. I'm sorry, friends. We've got, okay, gone over breadth. Oh, breadth. Non-science options. Non-science options are number 3. Number 3 includes Faculty of Arts courses, but is not the same as being Faculty of Arts courses. Non-science options include courses, some courses in business, kinesiology, the social work class you can take, the education class you can take, lots of other courses. So that's what that means. For non-science, there's something you also need to check. It's called Table 1. So if you're looking for non-science options, this really won't matter for your first year, by the way, at all. But if you're looking for non-science options and you're looking at the courses of instruction page, you find a class that kind of looks like it might be a science class, even though it's not in the Faculty of Science. Double check Table 1. If the course is on Table 1, it means that it is considered a science class, even though it's not in science. Okay, that's a lot of information about options, but I'm really hoping it clarifies the different options you're going to have this coming year. All right, so the first year degree guide. Most of you have probably already seen this. It's a really helpful tool. Remember to read the fine print, the small writing, if there's a little asterisk beside something, go look for it because it will answer questions. For instance, a big question people have is, which math should I take? There's an asterisk that tells you which math you should take. So check out the asterisks. The new student registration assistant is going to be helpful for you. They are a current student. They have a really good sense of how to balance a schedule, and they've been trained by all of us to be able to support you. So they're going to be a really good point of contact going forward if you need help with registration. Now, the transfer credit report. Any of you in the chat that have been asking about IB and AP credit, I want you to check the transfer credit report. This is a way to see how your courses have come into the university. If the transfer credit isn't posted yet, talk to the admissions team if you think it should be already. I know that for GCE students, this will be a bit different this year because of when your exams are happening. So I recommend calling or talking to the admissions team to find out what kind of credit you're going to be given. And then if that applies to your degree in some way, that's when you would talk to us. Okay, last but not least, register as soon as you can. The registration date and time you've been given, that's not the only time you have to register. It's just the start of when you get to register. You have until mid-September to register for classes, until what is called the drop deadline. You actually have months to register. But I recommend you register right when you can, because that'll give you the best access to courses. And that's what we really want. And you won't miss your reservation. So yeah, register soon. All right. For those of you in the audience who are still cross-eyed when it comes to registration, that's super normal. Don't worry at all. We have webinars happening this week, which we highly recommend you attend. If you need that extra teaching. They are going to be delivered by different people on my team, and we're running them May 4th, 5th, and 6th. On my slide, there is the lovely URL. I recommend taking a photo of it for you to sign up for any one of those webinars. I'll leave this up just for one more moment. I don't want to make you miss it. So. Okay. If we miss it, we can put that up again. All right, friends. We genuinely look forward to advising you. We are here to help you anytime you need. So thanks for listening, everyone. And back to Nancy we go.
Thank you, Katelyn. That was very informative. So you provided us and everyone with a lot of helpful information today. To all our attendees, please remember to download the QLess app if you need help from our advisors. And we are here to support you. Another announcement too is for those, I know some people had issues getting access to today's webinar. Or you have friends that were not able to get in, we're sending a recording of the session will be emailed out, so don't worry about that. And also, if you have more questions, hopefully we've been able to answer a few during the chat session, but you can also check out our FAQ page on our Undergraduate Science Center website, and all those links will be sent to you. And finally, thank you for joining us today. This wraps up our session, and I want to thank everyone for joining us today and for giving us the opportunity to highlight the wonderful things that you will experience as part of the Faculty of Science community. Please remember to check out our website and sign up for our upcoming registration webinars. And you should be able to see the links for that information on our current slide. So thank you, Ashley, for moving that. I want you to enjoy the rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you in September. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.